Well, it's been a little while, hasn't it? For me, it's been about 10 days, give or take. I apologize for the delay in getting back to this. I've been traveling. I had two back-to-back trips for the holidays, one the week before Christmas, one the week after. So it's been a little crazy, but I've been eager to get back to this and get back into the current situation. So just to remind everybody, since we've been an extra week away, when we last left our Earl, feels weird to say our hero. When we last left Earl, we were working on journeying to the Zebulon Harding's last known position before everything went sideways for the Zebulon Harding, where the Zeb lost its crew and where the ship itself was rumored to have been sort of taken over. And so Zeb is dealing with a lot of anxiety over that personally. Earl had nothing to do with that at that point in time, and nobody really knows how he got involved, but it's been since then. That was over a month before Zeb first found himself aboard the Zebulon Harding. They learned from the Jeffers Vega Collective that this had happened and that there was a rendezvous they were supposed to make. Not technically the last known position of the Zebulon Harding, but it was the last position that they were supposed to meet. And that's where the beacon was left with the sort of black box information in the last recordings of the Zebulon Harding. So we're trying to go back there and figure out what the heck happened. It appears that we ran afoul of agents of Meridian Station or actors from the Meridian Station, some sort of corporate entity keeps itself fairly under wraps there. Well, not under wraps, but at least in charge of that. And we've been running into them more often at Lagrange. There's a battle there for it's a vital world with an orbital settlement, unfriendly atmosphere that's currently in battle and apparently has forces from Meridian Station active there. We hit that on the way on our Eidolon drift navigation towards the last known location, and are currently holed up in like an icy asteroid field where we had holed up to repair and caught some radio broadcasts between some stunt fighters from that same battle that had trailed us, where we learned that Meridian apparently has a shoot on sight order for the Zebulon Harding. So much so that the stun fighters who had been actually participating in the battle at Lagrange were ordered to break off that engagement and pursue us. They were not able to, and now we are ready to jump on into the next part of our of our journey, our expedition. So we're gonna carry on there. And it's funny because I looked at this thing and realized I got a challenge. I got a match. I'm gonna switch one so you can see my dice back. So here I got a match roll from strong hit with a match on my repair roll, and I used that for like while I was doing the repair and the engines were cold and that kind of thing, having that group drift on by, get that extra information. But I realized just now as I'm looking at it, it's like I could have learned something about the ship while I was doing this repair. I could have unearthed something, some sort of piece of evidence or something about what had happened with Zeb. Isn't what happened. A little bit of a missed opportunity there, maybe. Call that an alternate history, where when I'm poking around in the ship, I come to that knowledge, but not this time. All right, so we're going to carry on our merry way. I believe the last thing I sort of said is like, okay, let's fire up the heater and get the hell out of here. We carry on en route to the last known position of the Zebulon Harding. So let's get in here and take a look at the move. Undertake an expedition, which we should be well familiar with by this point in time. So under our exploration moves, undertaking an expedition, trailblazing a route through perilous space. I think that the appropriate roll here is to roll plus shadow so we can keep under the radar, because we are trying to time things so that we can get out of here. The stunt fighters have left. That doesn't mean we're necessarily out of the woods, so we are very carefully going to make sure that they are clear before we proceed and sort of keep out under it. So we're rolling plus edge, and I don't believe I have any extra bonuses for my assets or anything like that for this roll. No, we're rolling shadow, not edge, for keeping under the radar, and no modifiers. Off we go. And what does our first roll of the game say? That is a miss. Crap. All right, so that wasn't even the worst I could have rolled. All right, that was a 4 against an 8 and a 5, giving me a miss. However, I can burn momentum for a weak hit. Okay, so let's take a look at what our options are here. On a miss, I'm waylaid by a crisis. or I arrive at a waypoint to confront an immediate hardship or threat. Don't mark progress, pay the price. On a weak hit, instead, I would reach a waypoint, envision the location, and mark progress per the rank of the expedition, but I either make a suffer move of -2 or 2 -1 suffer moves, or face a peril at the waypoint. So the difference really here is, do I want to continue to make progress by burning my momentum, or because the same basic thing is going to happen in relative severity, or at least that's how I judge it, the relative severity of this, one way or the other. There's, a miss, hardship, a threat, some sort of crisis, pay the price dictates that. On a weak hit, I'm either going to take a suffer move or I'm going to face peril at the waypoint, but I actually make progress. Just so you know, I do a little bit of automatic video editing on this so that any dead space on here gets sort of chopped out. So don't, as you're watching these, and I've gotten some, again, great feedback and comments from everybody about this, don't assume, I'm sure many of you are more than quick enough to have realized this, but please don't assume that I'm just randomly rattling this stuff off as fast as it comes at me. What you're not seeing is all the time where I'm staring glassy-eyed at the screen trying to think about what the next thing is going to be and what makes the most sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to burn momentum to turn this into a weak hit. So first of all, I'm going to hit burn here, and that gets me down to my momentum back at a 2. As I immediately, I do the jump that puts us into this Eidolon drift, heading for the next, waypoint, the next anchorage, and I come out into immediate turbulence, far too close to a planet, and just nothing good comes out of that. We are going to, I'm hitting a couple of oracles here. I'm going to shrink that, obviously, but initially, let's just look at this furnace world. That's awesome. We're going to drop this guy right in here. And so I'm seeing a furnace world. I am way too close to it initially. That is one of the first things. K-Z48, and it's going to show the tooltip. It's a furnace world, towering mountain ranges, and that'll probably be somewhat noticeable here because what I did with the move here was I decided to go with weak hit, face a peril at the waypoint, envision what you encounter on it. So I hit a couple of oracles. I immediately, first thing I did, and then I'm just going to walk people through this. What was the space sighting that I had coming out of this thing? And that was a planet. I went to the planet table and looked at furnace world, relentless volcanic activity, reeds and fire and ash, towering mountain ranges. And then I looked at what the peril might be, and I checked both the planet side peril. I got a spaceborne peril I didn't really think very much of, but I did get this planet side peril and then a spaceborne peril. I'm actually going to kind of combine these two. So what we have here on spaceborne peril is artificial gravity generator malfunctions, and then you've got wreckage or ruins portend a new threat, and disturbing remains or evidence of death. So we come out and we're immediately shaken by this turbulence, this I'm being rocked, and it's not the kind of thing where I feel like I'm being struck by anything, but the ship itself is just bucking wildly. In this case, it's due to some sort of wildly unpredictable gravitic waves in the area. And as I'm reaching for the panel is getting further away because I'm drifting, like I'm doing this thing, and as a result, like I'm drifting away from the control panels on the ship. The artificial gravity is down, and our initial propulsion stuff appears to be offline. I'm like, what's causing this? Well, it appears to be some effect of the planet. We're too close, and we have wildly unpredictable gravitic anomalies coming off of this planet. Well, can you scan this thing and see if you can figure out what's doing this thing? And I kind of get to a far wall, and I'm pushing and kind of drifting back in towards the main panel and trying to tap up some scans and that kind of thing. And it isn't long before Zeb's like, well, yes, I can, and what I'm my initial read is this is an uninhabited planet, except, and I'm like, what do you mean except? Except for what? Well, except for a number of what look like ship hulls, crashed ships spread over this, anywhere within the scannable range. There's a number of them, and they're wildly different in ages. They've been here for some of them over almost 200 years. We've only been in the Forge for 200 years. You're saying some of the first explorers found this place and have been finding it and they keep crashing? Well, I'm not sure that all of them keep crashing. Well, I sure as hell hope not all of them be crashing, because I'd like to not. And I don't think we're probably going to be the first ones to figure out Can we figure out what's doing this thing? Can we counteract this thing somehow? Well, I'm not sure. Oh, well, okay, let's get sure. I'm going to see if I can get I'm going to see if I can get back into the systems, get the G line back online, and figure out some way of shielding it from these waves. You see if you can figure out how we can get away from this damn planet without getting sucked down into the gravity well. Well, we're actually already descending into the gravity. Right, so we need to stop that, right? And right now I'm going, and I'm kicking myself along. The problem is, on top of everything else, the gravity is it's not weightless. It's unpredictable. I'm like flying, and then all of a sudden there's gravity, and then I'm being pulled, and then the ship is being spun, so I'm having to deal with centrifugal force. Suddenly the wall is the floor, and the floor is the ceiling. So I'm going to face danger, because my GM is an asshole. I have to face danger with edge, because I'm trying to maneuver all through this. I think that's what it would be. I'm pretty sure that's what it would be. There is an asset. I don't have it, but I know there's an asset for like 0G maneuvering. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it makes sense for me to be, this would be kind of a face danger with edge. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to try to do this move, face danger, rolling with edge. Speed, mobility, or agility. Yeah, that's pretty much what's got to be. Okay, a weak hit. That's the best I can roll, but unfortunately a challenge. So I got a 7 against a 10 and a 3. On a weak hit, you succeed, but at a troublesome cost, make a suffer move. So I'm like floating through here, and I basically got the hang of it. I'm sort of staying pretty much ready, but it's not great. And I think what I am going to do is I am going to take a health hit here as I get slammed up against the bulkhead and crack my skull. Am I going to make the suffer move? I think I might. Endure harm. When you face physical injury, fatigue, or illness, suffer -1 health for minor harm. Your health, roll plus health or plus iron, whichever is higher. On the strong hit, choose one. Shake it off. I'm gonna try to do this. Oh, ooh! Look at that. Okay, so that's me rolling my health. Strong hit with a match. Strong hit with a match, rolling my health. Okay. Facing physical injury. I get cracked. I shake it off. I take +1 health. That gets me back up to a 4. It rings my bell, but in a weird way, it brings a certain amount of clarity. Opportunity. God, these are tough ones. These are the tough ones because, like, what is that opportunity? We're getting some very interesting readings from the planet. Okay, but I'd like to not crash into the planet to arrive there. So can you get a handle on that? And now I am going to secure an advantage. Secure an advantage? I think I'm going to secure an advantage. I haven't done that in a while. I'm going to secure an advantage, I think, with my wits, expertise, focus, and observation. That's wits. But I am also going to use one of my assets here when I make a move to craft, repair, repurpose, or modify equipment or technology, add +1, take +1 on a hit. So I am going to secure an advantage, but I'm going to do it with Gearhead because I'm going to try to modify the system so that it is not so susceptible to these gravitic waves and try to get a handle on the system that way. So what I'm going to come back over here to secure an advantage, and I'm going to roll with my expertise, but take a +1 on that, and I'm going to roll absolutely terribly and get a 4, but with a 3 and a 2 on the challenge dice, which still gives me a strong hit. All right, cool. So on the strong hit, I take both +2 momentum and a +1 on my next move, as long as it's not a progress move. I actually get +3 momentum because of the Gearhead thing, and I get a +1 on the next move. I get a +1 on the next move. All right, I think I got it stabilized. Hopefully the gravity is going to behave. Zeb? Zeb! He finally responds. Yes, Earl. Okay. So you scared me there for a second, buddy. All right, so yeah, are we stable at all in the orbit? I said, well, and he says, yeah, yes, actually, now that I'm able to calibrate properly, and the systems, your adjustments seem to have stabilized my processing. I am able to stabilize our orbit. We're really quite low, and using I wouldn't want to stay this low. Although well, get us back up out of the up to a higher orbit. We're not burning fuel. Well, there are some opportunities here, Earl, and I thought I might bring them out. Oh, okay. What kind of opportunities? Well, there's quite a few ships crashed down here. It's quite possible. Several of these are cargo haulers and other sorts of long-range explorers or settlers ships. They've been here for quite some time, but there's a very good chance that they have extensive cargo or supplies that we might be able to make use of. We just have to land on this horrible frickin' planet. Well, yes, that would be part of it, but we're under control now, Earl. It should be all right. So one of my moves here is when you secure an advantage by talking through a situation with your overseer, you may roll plus integrity. And if you do, you take plus momentum on a hit. Okay. So I can roll plus my integrity. There's no way to actually roll here. I wish I could. So I would roll one to move, secure an advantage again. Closest thing I could roll in terms of stats would be my heart, I think. But since my integrity is a 5, I'd add 2 to this roll. That would get me up to the total of 5. But I also have a +1 going forward, which lets me add 3 onto this. So that gets me up to a total. It should be a pretty good roll. Okay. Oh, my dice have been really nice to me tonight. So that's me adding 3 for a total of 6 because I'm adding integrity +1. On a 2 on the roll, that gives me an 8. But I had, again, challenge dice are a match double ones. So I got a strong hit with a match again. The first one gave me the opportunity of the cache of cargo and supplies. And I rolled again on the plan side opportunity, and this one is a clue offers insight into a current quest or mystery. Okay, all right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, my supply's at 5. There's nothing I can do in terms of this, like resupplying or anything like that at this point. Okay, all right. So, clue offers insight into current quest or mystery. Okay. Make a few more notes here. Furnace world, tower ranges, surface, sparsely littered with crashed ships due to gravitic, I'm going to say powerful, gravitic, it's something about the mountain ranges. Weird harmonics, that kind of stuff. So the opportunity that some of the opportunities I'm taking here is that we landed and we've got we go through supplies and stuff. We get some med pack, like medical supplies, maybe like an expert sort of system thing. It's not super smart, but it's like sort of I think of it like a med kit, except it's like smart enough to basically analyze various things. I've been running with a point low on health for a while, so I'm basically giving myself the opportunity to roll a heal, which I just have down here, rolling either the lowest of either my iron or my wits. I still managed to get a 6 against a 1 and a 2, so that gives me a strong hit, which lets me heal up. I only had to heal 1, so it's fine. But the other thing here is the opportunity, that's from just the supply run, because I don't need to resupply. My supplies are maxed out. I don't need to repair. My integrity is at 5. So I just gave myself the ability to give myself the opportunity to heal. But here, the clue offers insight into a current quest or mystery. I have an idea for this, but I'm gonna hit the Oracle and see if this thing sparks any better ideas. Sheet, which is not where I need to be. Sorry, I'm getting my head around this one a little bit more just to get an idea of what's going on here. So what I'm envisioning here is we're kind of going over this ship field. We've stopped at the first one that looks likely and got some good stuff. It was an older model, but it was like a supply ship and like a settlement supply ship. So the kind of place that's going to bring in foodstuffs and terraforming and plant farming supplies, medical supplies, things like that. And I find some stuff there, and then we'll kind of take it up over the field and hit a couple of the other ones. And I'm looking at one, and Zeb's kind of giving me a readout and that kind of thing, and talking about the various ships that might have been brought down in the years of time and space. And I kind of head over next to that one. What one? That one right there. The one that's all busted up. They're all broken. That one right there. The carrier. The heavy transport. Can you get the name of that? Can you get the transponder off that one? And he can't, Zeb, I can't pull the transponder. It's no longer active. Again, the fluctuations have damaged much of the electronics in the area, but I can see the identification markers on the outside of the ship are still there. Can you get them in focus? There's an urgency in Earl's voice with this that Zeb seems to understand, or at least notice. He pulls it in, and we see the name Saria's Tribute, and it's a heavy transport. Lots of escape pods, most of which have been jettisoned. So all along the side, you've got these empty bays for where the escape pods would be. It's like this was some sort of passenger transport. Yeah, it was. Earl, what's the matter? I was stationed on that ship. I was working on that. I hadn't really thought about it. I don't know, it's hazy, but it couldn't have been more than a month or two ago that I got the job. I didn't think it'd be connected to this. It was a short hire. They just needed someone temporary. They were headed to Providence Station from Glimmer. Well, no, from Last Hope. It was a bunch of folks that had come into the sector from outside. They come in. And they actually I'm backtrack and say that they pulled up on Glimmer, but they were headed for Providence Station. Not exactly sure why. But we were supposed to get across the Bellfires. And how would they have been out this way? This isn't even on the route to that. Why the hell are they here? Are there any signs of the crew? I was gonna say survivors. He cuts himself off. Well, no. It looks as though although they weren't able to save the ship, it does look as though most of the people were able to get aboard escape pods and escape the ship. Do you want to explore? No, I don't, honestly. We'll see, we'll come back here at some point, but you got anything for this in your memory bank, Zeb? Possible you picked me up here? Maybe I was one of the part of the crew that stayed and tried to get the ship down safe. It's all busted up though. I don't see how I could have been on the air. Maybe I was in an escape pod and you picked us up, picked me up, something like that. I don't have any memory of that in my memory banks, Earl. I don't have any memory of anything. I don't have anything in the memory banks prior to when we both woke up. Well, this has to have something to do with it. Why would we have been out this far? What the hell are all those people? I gotta see if I can. I wonder. I mean, if they all escaped, they had to have gone somewhere, right? Maybe some of the crew. Find out what happened. All right. Well, it gives us some more information to find out, right? Yes, Earl. I think that'll probably help. All right. That's good. So first of all, I'm gonna mark progress. No, I'm not. I'm gonna mark progress on find out what happened at the Zebulon. So I'm gonna mark progress on find out what happened at the Zebulon Harding's last known location, because this is part of it. And honestly, I'm gonna mark progress on learn what happened to the former crew of the Zebulon Harding too, because this is definitely connected to all of this. Earl just stares out at this big old carrier, this big old transport. Earl, are you all right? Zeb, I need you to be honest with me. Well, all right. Earl, I'm always honest with you, but am I being an idiot not going down there and finding out what the hell happened to that ship? I wouldn't say that you're being an idiot. There's a number of reasons why you wouldn't necessarily need or want to go down there. Yeah, you're being real nice, Zeb. I need you to tell me whether or not I'm being stupid giving up a whole ship full of clues if I don't go down there. This is an interesting one. So I can take a bonus by talking things over with Zeb on this kind of stuff, but it's only if I'm doing secure and advantage. So I want to look at the move for secure and advantage and see if this kind of lines up with this. When you assess the situation, well, okay, fine. When you assess the situation, Earl, I can't tell you what to do, but it seems as though that's connected directly with your time prior to having become involved with all of this. So it seems to me that if we're out here to try to learn something about what's been going on, the only logical thing to do would be to investigate that ship and find out. I believe we know what happened here, but it might tell us more about what happened to you, whether you were found here on this planet after a crash landing or something else. But I'll be honest, Earl, there are things that I know I might learn about what happened to both of us and to myself, and I'm a little afraid to find out. So I will understand if you don't want to go. I'm going to roll secure and advantage. I'm going to roll with heart, and I'm giving myself the +2 bonus because what I'm really doing is I'm rolling with the integrity of the ship as I secure an advantage and assess the situation. That is another strong hit. That gives me a +2, +3 because talking it over with Earl gives me an additional +1 momentum. Yeah, +3. And it gives me a +1 on the next move. And my next move is going to be face danger with resolve. Basically, I'm trying to decide if I have the guts to go down there. So Earl's going to take a roll at this, and we're going to see what we see. So I'm going to roll with heart on face danger, and I'm going to get a +1 forward from the advice from Zeb. Let's see what happens. That is a weak hit because I got a 9 on my action score, but that's against a 10 and a 1 on the challenge dice. So on a weak hit, you succeed, but at a troublesome cost. Make a suffer move, -1. I am going to take a spirit hit because this is weighing on my soul. And I am immediately going to take the suffer move of enduring stress because I am definitely enduring stress. I'm facing mental strain, shock, or despair. Taking a -1 for a stress hit, and I am immediately going to roll spirit and see what happens there. No modifiers on this. That's another weak hit. On a weak hit, if you are not shaken, you could lose momentum in exchange for 1 spirit. Otherwise, you press on it. So you can see Earl visibly become shaken about this and say, but you know, say. And then we hear Zeb say, "Earl, land it. Land. Are you sure? Yeah. Let's go ahead and land, Zeb. It's just a damn wreck. Let's go down and check it out." I walk away from the sand and head out towards the thing. It's just a damn wreck. I'm going to go get my suit on. And that's where we're going to stop. We're going to stop with Earl about to explore the wreck of the Saria's Tribute Heavy Transport. All right, that's where we're going to stop because next time we're going to start with Earl exploring the wreck of the Saria's Tribute, where he apparently was at until he was found aboard the Zebulon Harding. So yeah, we're gonna do a little exploration here. We're gonna check out a derelict ship, find out what's going on. Maybe learn a little bit more about this world, and definitely learn a little bit more about Earl. Okay, that is not where I was expecting this to go, guys. Holy shit. This game continues to surprise me. This is really, really cool. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Thanks everybody. We're probably going to get another game in sometime this week, so we're going to get some more games coming. This should post, I think that this is going to go up, this should go up Friday. So in fact, I will say this, Happy New Year. I believe this is going to go up on New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year. I am very, very pleased and very proud of the feedback and just the comments and everything that everyone's been leaving for this game. It feels great. I'm really glad that people are enjoying this game as much as I am. Damn. I tell you what, this is pretty cool. Next time we're gonna explore the ship on K-Z48 and find out what the hell is going on, or at least what went on. Exciting stuff. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you all soon.